Hey guys, we're fortunate to have a multitude of techniques at our disposal as landscape photographers working with raw editors like Lightroom in this day and age. And one technique that came along about 10 or 15 years ago was, of course, the exposure blending techniques, HDR and fusion mapping and stuff like that. And the advantage of those techniques was they enabled you to capture the entire dynamic range of light in a scene. So the very brightest bright parts of the sky and the darkest shadowy parts of the scene as well, which is ideal for the kind of photography I prefer, which is kind of sunset and sunrise, where you have this massive dynamic range. And even the most advanced camera sensors, even today, can't capture all of that range in one single capture. And I do quite often use exposure blending to merge a bracketed shot. So I shoot something that's exposed for highlights, something that's exposed for the mid-range, and something that's exposed for the shadows, and I blend them. I usually use a thing called fusion mapping to blend them. Sometimes I will use Lightroom's built-in HDR. But as we all know, it's very easy with HDR to create something that's completely unnatural looking. And actually, sometimes it's more useful to go back to some of the older techniques, the stuff we did before we had this exposure blending technology. And it's precisely one of those techniques I'm going to demonstrate today. And the reason that I decided to go a little bit old school will become apparent when we work through the process. So I'm going to do a little bit of preamble in Lightroom, then hop over to Photoshop, and then back into Lightroom to finish things up. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so here is the photograph that we're going to create today. This is the finished one that I worked through previously. And down here in the thumbnail bar, you can see the photographs that make up the bracketed sequence. This was the kind of 0 EV exposure, the kind of middle of the range shot. Here is the image that was exposed for the shadows to lift them up. So very overexposed sky. And here is the underexposed shot so that we get lots of detail in the sky. And while this would be a great contender for an HDR merge, there are also some big reasons why I chose not to do that with this photo and instead go a little bit old school with a straight sky blend. And the main reason I decided on that was because when you do an HDR, you don't get much control over which elements of the individual frames are included in the finished article. So for instance, if we look at this shot, which is the one that's exposed for the highlights, there's some cool little splash details in here on this rock here. But we've got the main kind of movement, this beautiful slowed down exposure. What was this? 1/5 of a second. So spot on for capturing that beautiful wave movement and awesome detail in the rock area. And if we do a HDR, we can't really control which of these elements of these waves in this frame and in this frame and in this frame appear in the finished thing. And it was that reason, because I wanted control, that I just did a straight sky blend. Now, I decided that I had plenty of detail in this 0 EV middle of the range bracket that I didn't have to use the one that was exposed for the shadows because the wave movement's far too blurry in this. And I don't really want all of this detail in the rock. It's important to have contrast in your photographs so that they look natural. And I far prefer the way this frame is lit. So we've got some bits that are very dark, absolutely black in some cases, and that's fine. We want that. We want contrast. So what I decided to do was to blend this frame, the middle range one, with the one exposed for the highlights. So to get these into Photoshop, all you have to do is select the two frames. My two frames selected here. Then you go to Edit In. and open as layers in Photoshop. Okay, so Lightroom has sent over the 2 frames for us. There is the 0 EV and there is the highlight exposure. And the first thing we're going to do is stick a mask on it, but we're going to select the sky. So the sky masking is pretty good these days in Photoshop and Lightroom. No reason why I should make things difficult. So I'm going to click select sky, and then I'm going to click the mask button on that layer. And as you can see, we've got things the wrong way round at this stage. So all I'm going to do is invert that mask by pressing Command or Control I. And now we've got things the right way round. So now we've got a really nice blend. We've got a well-exposed sky. We can see all the detail there, but we've also got a well-exposed foreground too. But you might notice that a couple of the features that I mentioned prior to this aren't present in this blend. We haven't got that big splash over here. We haven't got the splash on the front of this little rock here. And so that's the beauty of this technique. You can bring them back by just painting them back into the mask. So I'm going to click on the mask. I'm going to select a brush just with a nice soft edge. Nice big one, 0% hardness. And if we just have a peek at the layer underneath, we can see exactly what we want to pull back in. This area over here, this wave, this bit here, perhaps some of this stuff in the foreground. Let's go back to our layer and just start painting it back in. Here's our first wave. You'll notice I've got opacity and flow both at 100%. We don't want any sort of a semi-opaque bit showing through on here. So there's that first big wave. Gone a bit far there. Let's just come in here. There we go. That's looking great. And then we can come down to this wave at the front here in the foreground. Just paint that back in. It's got this beautiful little splash. And I mentioned that contrast is a good thing, and it's a little bit busy in this little interesting portion at the front here. And so what I might do is just paint out some of this too, because I saw we had this beautiful slow motion kind of wave breaking on this little foreground rock here. Don't want to get in the way of this wave. This is lovely. What have we got going on down here? Again, we can paint in some contrast. It's effectively like dodging and burning. So let's have a little look at the underlying image and see if there's any other bits and pieces we want to bring back in. Oh, there's a lovely little rivulet down here. Let's bring that back. So I'm going to come back to this layer. I'm just going to paint that in. It's looking lovely. Is there anything else? Let's have a look at the image. I really like the way this looks at the moment. This whole portion here is awesome. Nothing really in the background. Perhaps we might paint in some of this wave in the background, because this is very blurry as it exists at the moment. So why don't we bring back the old wave? Let's just paint that out. Painting across the ocean a bit there, just so we get the correct lighting. There we go. That's looking way better. Is there any other bits and pieces that we want to capture? I think that's probably about it. Okay, so I'm happy that I have captured all the bits I want from the 2 frames. Now I can just flatten the image and just save it, which will send it back to Lightroom. So now we're back in Lightroom. I think I'm going to do a little bit of dodging and burning just to finish this image off. So we're going to use a job technique with our old friend, the brush. So I've come into the masks palette here, clicked on brush, and I'm going to come down to preset and select burn darken. And I'm going to make that a bit darker still, because I really want these a bit darker. Something like 0.75 is looking good. And I'm just going to come and darken the bits that are already dark, which accentuates the contrast. I'll drop the brush size a bit because we're kind of overwriting some of the data there. So wherever there is an existing dark area, you just go over it with the brush. And the contrast just makes the image really pop. So I'm going to finish brushing in this. I'm going to switch then fire up a second brush. I'm going to change the preset to Dodge, and I'm going to fast forward through that bit so you guys have to sit through me brushing through this image, and we'll see how it looks after I've done it. So I've finished with all the dodging and burning, and I can turn the mask on and off. I can see the effect that has. Here's before and here's after. So we've just heightened the contrast, just naturally accentuated it by brushing in some nice painterly effects. And then this is the finished article. As you can see, it's a nice image with plenty of detail in these waves, beautifully exposed sky, and lots of nice wave detail, natural looking, with some areas that are in shadow and some other bits that are bright, as it should be. So as you can see, it's always worth considering the older techniques when you're post-processing your photos, rather than just immediately going for something like an exposure blend or HDR. There are many benefits to those older techniques, and I certainly think it paid off with that photo. Anyway, guys, that'll do it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like, and if you got value from it, then do consider subscribing to my channel for more photo, video, and drone-related content from me. Till the next time, guys. Ta-ta.